Hello everyone, my name is Khalior. I bring you every week the latest news related to Bloodhunt and everything around it, and I help explain the news in a way to better understand what is going on. For posterity, archival, and recording purposes, it is currently Sunday, December 10th, 2023. It is currently 4:29 p.m. Eastern Time. It has been 593 days since the official release of Bloodhunt, and currently activated in-game is the Primus Pass. The current patch is the community update still. We are recording this on Twitch normally every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, but because we had an event yesterday, had to delay to the next day. It's still gonna be the same. I'm just warning you, it's gonna be the same next weekend. I'm supposed to have an event on Saturday, so I'll be doing the news on Sunday instead. If you're live, if you are live right now at the recording on Twitch, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Anything that's relevant to what I'm going to be talking about. If not, just wait until later on to ask me questions. I'm still going to be streaming after I'm done with the recording. And as a reminder and a disclosure, I'm not a game dev. I'm not bound by an NDA, but I will do the best to explain the news with some reasonable assumptions. And yet again, I do not work for SharkMob. So, hello everyone in chat. So, what happened this week? Well, I know that this show is a recap for Bloodhunt news, but we will now have to address the elephant that's not so much a part of the room as it's somewhere in another room in the same house that we're in. As in, we can totally ignore the elephant in the other room and still go on our merry way, doing the things that we do best, and there's little to no reason as we would, could, or should let that affect us. Nevertheless, the Bloodhunt community will be talking about this, whether we want it or not. There will be in the future some possibility of impact that will affect Bloodhunt in terms of population, in terms of people looking at the shark mob, which means like looking at the other game, which is Bloodhunt. So we might as well cover the little bits of news that we get from that, just to be sure that we've got at least the correct info when discussing the topic. I am, of course, referring to Exoborne, the second game from SharkMob, which has been revealed this Thursday during the 2023 Game Awards event. So, I will be discussing this because we kind of have to, in a way, and I don't want to completely ignore it for the moment. I'm not going to turn this, as far as I can tell, I'm not going to turn this Bloodhunt recap into an Exoborne recap in any kind of format in the future. I'm just doing it specifically because that's been the news today, so might as well get it out of the way and talk about it. But first, this is a Bloodhunt recap. We're going to be talking about Bloodhunt things. So, the things that we got this week. We got the voting results that we got this week for the community vote. So the community vote, we already know, like, right now as of this recording, like, this is going to expire in the next few hours, but it's just for recording purposes, for the posterity, as I like to say. This week, the choices from the community were in terms of TDM maps. With 41%, we had Red Light District, Memorial Park, and Rudolphinum. For legendary weapons, we had the gold pistol, gold assault rifle, gold 9-barrel, and gold auto shotgun, again with 41% of the votes. So again, still feels a little divided in the community. And for artifacts, we had the Nodist volume and the Expeditus boots, finally breaking the streak of the Hand of Glory that had been inside the game for the last, I think, 6 weeks. I haven't counted, but I think it's been 6 weeks. With 43% of the votes, so people showed up for that vote and voted accordingly. And in terms of the voting choices that we currently have. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, people have... Wait, hold on. So it means at 6. You have an hour and a half still left to vote as of right now. It felt like a year with a hand, I understand. Yeah, so the choices that we currently have are going to, you know, we're going to have a winner of these choices in an hour, like in the next few hours. In terms of artifacts this week, we've got Eye of Thorns and Boots, Crow and Book, Ram and Hand, which is very interesting. I'm very interested to see what the community is going to choose. I don't think I've heard any rallying cry in any Discord about what people should vote on, so interesting. I know that, yes, indeed, not having the hand has been very nice, so yeah, maybe we're looking at the other options that we might not have the hand, but I think that it's all... things are possible. Are the people that use the hand are they going to be happy with having the ram instead? Will people that choose the boots be happy with having the Eye of Thorns at the same time? It's you know, it's a very interesting game of figuring out exactly what exactly do people want to see. Yeah. What exactly do you want to see? For the TDM maps, we've got the choice of Harbor Library Rodolphinum, Memorial Park Rooftop Restaurant and Sky Bar, and Burning Church Graveyard Divine Disco. Now, I would think that probably the community would be sick of Rodolphinum being there all the time, also because of the issues with the pathing of the AI in Rodolphinum, so I would suggest personally, like, any of the other two is going to be fine with me. It's up to you. And for legendary weapons, we have the choices of the crossbow, double barrel, silence SMG, and pump shotgun, dual crossbows, toggler, revolver, and burst rifle, and pistol, LMG, 9-barrel, and Tommy gun. Which I think that probably option 2 or option 3 are going to be chosen this week, because there's not much automatic weapon option right now in option 1. Legendary starter pistol is the only right choice. It slaps. It slaps. If someone like shoots at you with like gets headshots, you're done. You're done. I don't care if you got dual crossbows. Yeah, so it's very much in the air exactly what is going to be chosen. But if you are a part of the PlayStation community, and you want to compete in the PlayStation Trios competitive tournament that is scheduled to happen next Saturday, the choice that is going to happen today will be affecting your event. So choose very wisely, people. So talking about that, yes, you already know. You already knew about this. PS5 Competitive Trios Tournament is happening on Saturday, December 16th. There will be viewer prizes. It's all going to be happening on this very channel, on my channel. I'm going to be doing the host. I'm still looking for 2 people who can help me with a couple of things to do in the background while the event is starting. I put a message on my Discord about that. There is the link for the sign up and the rules. Signups are closing at the end of Wednesday evening. And yeah, it is going to be a competitive tournament, so all the competitive prizes will be up for grabs. Now, I said this yesterday while I was casting for everyone for the FUNament. I'm just going to repeat it here. In order to make this the best competitive event, I need to make sure that I have at least 7 teams. That's the number of teams that's determined to have a Trios competitive tournament because it happens on the public servers. I need to have at least 7 teams and maybe a couple of backup in case something unfortunate happens. if I do not have at least 7 teams by the time that the signups end, or on the day of the event, if I do not have 7 teams present, I reserve myself the right to cancel the entire event. I'm mentioning this because I want to make this clear. There's many PS5 players that have been asking for this event to happen for the last 2 months, asking me, asking the community managers every week if this could happen, and the answer has always been, someone needs to step up and put it together. And so far, until I made my event, no one did. So I decided to make one for the community. And neither myself nor the community managers want the same scenario that happened last time that we tried this kind of event, where we only had 4 teams online to compete, and we called that competitive. So either people show up or they don't. I have absolutely no qualms in pulling the plug on this on my end and moving on, and I'm gonna prepare, I don't know, maybe a PC event instead. I'm not going to run after you guys. I'm not going to beg in DMs. I have a lot of plans for events in Bloodhunt. I choose to focus right now on tournaments and FUNaments these days because they are the biggest events that we have in the community, and they need to be encouraged and they need to be supported. But if people don't show up, why should I continue to put these events together, right? You feel me? So there you go. That's what I had to say about this. So PS5 players, sign up if ever you want to join in there. I know that there's a lot of you that have been asking for this, so step it up, guys. Because I was looking at the signups today, and it's not looking very promising. I'm just gonna say I'm a little very disappointed right now. So yeah, either you show up or you don't. You get yourself organized or you don't, or else I'm gonna move on. Okay, I have to be like extremely brutal about this, about people that say I am going to be there, to actually commit to being there. The people that want an event, it's like, if you make up an event, I'm going to be there. Okay, well, actually show up, or else I've wasted my time. Remember, I'm not doing this like for any kind of profit on my own. Okay, this is like, none of this is profitable for me, and I'm spending hours creating this and making deals in the background, organizing things with the community managers for these events to happen, and all of this is wasted if people don't show up. So I don't know what else to add to that, except that in terms of events that have been happening, yesterday we had the 7th Bloodhunt community FUNament. And now, I didn't catch the tweet when it was there and when it was posted, but I just realized that my frames are all weird. Oh, I didn't see that. Well, I'm not gonna arrange that live. That my frame is gonna be like all janky. My frame all around me. Yay, it's super janky. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Moving on. I'll fix that afterwards. So, yes, results of the 7th Bloodhunt community FUNament. Far made a tweet post out of this. I just grabbed the link that she posted on the Bloodhunt Discord to show you all of this. So we're gonna read through it. Thank you for taking part or watching the FUNament. Feedback in any direction is very welcome so we can improve further events. Scroll down to see the feedback. Some numbers. 640 enemies were killed in total. 520 assists. 188 is the winning score. 113 was the average score. 95 prizes are given out. 95 prizes. We said close to 100 yesterday. Yeah, that's what happened. We had 17 participating teams for a total of 51 players. 12 teams signed up before this FUNament started. All teams that signed up did participate. This is an example of people that said that they were going to show up, and they did. We like seeing a whole bunch of teams that were put together while the event was starting or while the event was happening. That was really great. Some teams were created in the FUNament stream chat and on Discord channels. We feel honored that all teams that signed up did participate. The participation reward will be available for future FUNaments. Signing up is not mandatory to participate. However, if you stream and you want to be shown on the FUNament stream, a sign up is required. So the next FUNament is going to be in January 20th. Far are you here? As mentioned above, please take a few minutes and answer the like questions so we can improve the FUNaments. So, the results for the kill race. First, Nevi and Dubfreak and Old Man Cammy. Second is Void Puff and Savpuff and Gang Puff. Third was Polygon and Freelancer 666 and Fade. You've got the details list here. On your end, it says January. Okay, it says January now. Okay, good. So we've got here the results of closest to average. We had 5 teams. That's great. And yeah, and then we have again the same usual kind of questions. You know, was it easy to submit the scores? What would be ideal to watch? What do you think about the format? So far, we aren't seeing any issues with the format, except, you know, a few individuals are going like, can you do it before? Can you do it after? And all of that. And yeah, we're going to see what people think of the prize pool. But most importantly, as usual, the last question that is mandatory is here. What game mode should be played at the next FUNament? So please go vote so we can see, is it going to be solo, duo, or trio again? It was very fun. I interviewed 2 teams at the end of the FUNament while the scores were being tabulated, and there were 2 teams of people that had never really got themselves involved in trios, and now because of that event, suddenly are just like, yeah, trios is fun. We might get into this. So you never know until you try it. So yeah, go vote, please go vote, and then we can already set up the next one, which is going to be on January 20th. All right, and yeah, also I want to mention again, there was a participation prize that was given out to people. I believe I have it here? No, I don't have it on this scene. But yeah, the Dark Angel icon and the banner that goes along with it. As a participation prize, it is going to be available for other FUNaments in the future, and they're going to be in the near future. As far as we can tell, for right now, they are exclusive only to FUNaments where you participate. An icon for your wounds, they said. Is that what I said? I don't know. So, yeah. Anyways, so if you want to, if you thought that trios was not your style and you'd rather participate in solo and duo and then get your participation prize for that, then go vote in. You got a cool Lupin outfit. Yeah, of course, Randy, you did. Okay, let's move on to Twitch drops. The Twitch drops. Of course, the community team at Bloodhunt was also overseeing. The community team was overseeing the announcements and release of Exoborne this week, so it affected a little bit their communications in terms of Bloodhunt, and they did not tweet out the the drops that we had this week, so I did. So yes, what we got this week is the extraterrestrial threat makeup that it was making a return, and the blue margin Nosferatu male only outfit. And these are the outfits that you got for this week. And now we also have, specifically for this week, I've mentioned this last week, we now have a corrected a corrected list of the top 100 streamers, because there were some mistakes that happened. So now it is the correct list. And I was asking, like, it's active until the end of the month, maybe? Plan for the end of the month being in holidays doesn't seem to be confirmed yet, so more info on that later. But yeah, because, like, the team also goes on holidays during the holidays. So what happens with the top 100 list? What happens with the drops? We don't know. So, actually, I posted that, and then Tobias answered. Tobias said the list will be valid up until after the holidays, a bit into the new year. So a bit into the new year, it could be a week or two, maybe, until they come back from vacation and they publish the decision about like what's going to be happening with the future series of drops. That's going to be for January and February, probably. Yes, it's correct. It's correct. Yeah, because we had some events, so Bloodhunt channel isn't there. I don't know. It's been made by people like the list. There were some issues because it was made by people that aren't usually like making the lists, so that had to be a correction. And at this point, I don't want to like. And there's a person yesterday also that said like, "Why am I in the list? I thought I was banned." I'm just gonna leave it at that. The important thing is that the people that were supposed to be in the top 100 and didn't make it and were a little bit sad about it, now they are in the list, so I'm happy about that right now. So yeah. Oh, hello to all the new people that have been joining the chat. Hello, hala. We saw a lot of you, hala, in the FUNament yesterday. All right, so this is Tobias confirmation is for the list. So the list of streamers is going to go through the holidays and a little over in January until they establish a new list for probably like January. But the other thing is, will there be a plan for drops too? And he hasn't answered. So what we have, I might as well just go immediately into it right now. Please stop making noise, PC. So what we currently have in terms of Twitch drops is these are the two drops that we have for this week up until the 15th. And on the 15th, we will get the Zombie Walk emote, finally. And the Snake and Bones outfit, which is a male Toreador only outfit. It's a recolor of an outfit that they already have. But after that, we don't know what is going to happen. So this will extend. So the whole this list is going to be this drop is going to be available from the 15th to the 22nd. Now, what happens after that for the starting on the 22nd up until the beginning of January? We don't know. We don't know exactly what is going to be happening. Oh, I forgot to stop that. Let me hide these things so it's not showing up. Completely forgot to do my usual things. Oops. Okay. But thank you for the follow, Sitting Steak. So yeah, we don't know exactly what's going to be happening during the holidays. So I'm expecting the community managers before they go on holiday to let us know exactly what's going to happen. Is it going to be a repeat of a selection of some of the drops that we've had since then, since the last repeat? So starting from October 27th. All the other drops that we've had since then, they're going to have a selection and they're going to say probably 8 of them to come back, and then we're gonna go with a new series of drops for January. We're gonna see. That's what I'm expecting. So yeah, that's my expectation of what we're gonna see coming in the future, but we're waiting for confirmation of that. Talking about events, we had the multi-kill challenge that a lot of people were talking about, and yes, of course, during the course of the week, it was confirmed by Atanas, which we aren't very used to see Atanas in the Bloodhunt Discord, but he's been very present this week. I guess, you know, giving a helping hand to everyone that was preparing for the announcement this week. So he was saying, we know you have all been eager to learn the names of the 3 winners of our multi-kill challenge, and we are thrilled to announce them. Congratulations to Sauce Eaton, also known as Orca, for showing through dominance, earning them an infinite takedown medal, for Aslight for their marksmanship skills, and Baharani Arietis for their mastery of the dual crossbows. We hope you enjoy your rewards, and we thank everyone who participated. And of course, following this, some people in the community have been going like, okay, I hope you can make this kind of event happen again, you know? And there's always people like right now, Caesar, right now in chat, that event was some BS. There's always the a discussion about like what exactly can you consider the most impressive stuff, because it was supposed to be an impressive display of skill while doing a multi-kill. Yeah, it's the judges, it's them. It's, you know, they had some criteria and they decided that. Yeah, you have to go with what they have to say and expect to go like the best way to deal with this. It goes like, thank you, congratulations to the winners. Hey, I hope you guys make another one so I can have another shot at this, or something like that. So that's the best way to deal with that. Or because unfortunately there's nothing really that you can do about it, or, you know, or in terms of like that kind of feedback. So yeah, another thing that happened, and I've already told you about this, in the Bloodhunt Secrets channel, Tobias has been posting sometimes some screenshots, sometimes some riddles once in a while, and asking for people to find things. And once in a while, if someone manages to discover what they're looking for, they get the choice. They get like the winner gets a choice of their cosmetic to win. And it goes into a long range of cosmetics, as I've been seeing for a few people. So Tobias has been posting a riddle, and we had to discover who that person was. And it actually took a few days. And he had to post a follow-up kind of help riddle for other people to discover, to figure out and discover exactly. Yeah, yeah, some people that riddle was driving people crazy. I understand that. But yeah, eventually there was a winner that was chosen. So I'm just saying, if you like finding some if you like finding some things, if you like to do a little bit of sleuthing and discovering and finding out secrets and doing a bit of research, once in a while, take a look at the Bloodhunt Secrets channel on the Bloodhunt Discord. There are some things that are happening there. Yes, and the Hatch called gained some members during that time. There's some, and I like that there's some people that are just catching on to the whole insanity of finding the famous Hatch and are now looking into discovering it on their own. And I think it's pretty good. Another thing in terms of events that's happening is the Fashion Victims Gothic Gala. Boop. This is submission week to submit your best fit with the theme Gothic Gala. It ends tonight in a few hours. The submission window is going to close in a few hours, and of course it's the same thing as usual. You submit your best fits that fit the theme of the week, and our judges are going to select 6 people. Not 6 people, 6 screenshots. Those screenshots will then be put to a comparative vote, and the community has to choose which one they want best or fits best the theme. And then we're going to have a winner, and the winner will be getting a Lupin outfit code, the Fluorophore tattoo code, and a code for the fuchsia finish makeup. So, yeah, a little bit classy compared to the last time. Because it's, it's a classy time of the year, and we're getting ready to, get all glammed up for the holidays and all of that. So on Monday or Tuesday, aka whenever I have the time to put it together, the voting will begin. I'll be posting that pretty much everywhere. Now, next up, as I'm scrolling and scrolling. All right, we're talking about things that are relevant to Bloodhunt in a kind of on the side kind of thing. I'm going to be talking about the VR game Vampire the Masquerade Justice. It's just to keep it in your rear view mirror, just to keep it in your peripheral if ever you're interested in the vampires and you're interested in the VR. I've already talked about this, but it's just because it's the holidays, you may want to purchase some things. Just want to mention it. So VTM Justice, which was only purchasable through PlayStation VR and the Meta stores, it's now announced that it's going to be coming to SteamVR in early 2024, and you can already wishlist it on Steam. Yeah, which is something that I would have probably liked to have known so I can actually stream it correctly. By the way, people are looking at my stream and still going like, aren't you supposed to stream this game? Eventually. I'm still figuring out the stuff on how to stream with VR. And I have some standards that I have to go through, so it's, eventually it's coming. In the meantime, if you're on the fence, this game has been really, really well reviewed so far on PSVR and the Meta store. And so if you're on the fence about it, they just released also a free trial, a try before you buy, on both of these stores. If ever you just want to have a little nibble, just a little taste, just a little for this game. Now, I'm not gonna really say anything about Bloodlines 2. There has been some constant news about Bloodlines 2 that's been revealed over the next few weeks, week after week, or every second week. So I don't really want to delve into that. They've been revealing all the playable clans that are going to be available at launch. They've been hinting at other clans that are going to be coming in as DLC in the future. The real big news that I'm going to be covering for this is going to be in January, because Bloodlines 2 will be sharing the gameplay of how the game is going to actually be running and all of that. And that is going to be very, very, very important moment in the eyes of old school Bloodlines players. It's going to be like the litmus test, if you will, to decide, is this game worth it? Is this a worthy successor to the original mythical classical Bloodlines? That is going to be the really important bit about Bloodlines 2. It's going to be that gameplay reveal, which they said is going to be happening in January. So really, if there's anything about that, I'm going to be talking about that at that time, and probably whenever there's going to be a release schedule. But I don't really want to talk much about Bloodlines 2. This is not my, there's no successor. We're gonna see. So, if we're done talking about vampires here, we're going to take a moment to talk about Exoborne. So, I say a moment, we're going to take several moments to talk about Exoborne. So, like I said, it's just to make sure that we've got all the information in front of us, so we know exactly what kind of game it is, how it's shaping up to be, because, and again, this is probably the only reason why I'm talking about this. It's because the attention that's going to be put on Exoborne is also going to bring some attention on Bloodhunt. Now, so far, all the articles that I've seen that were talking about Bloodhunt because of Exoborne have been kind of, shoving Bloodhunt to the side. Or if there are articles that have been written by really non-official journalists, it's more like edgy gamers doing their game reviews or being edgy journalists, they've been like pretty much like kicking the dead horse of Bloodhunt with, you know, impressions of the game that date from the original launch. Okay, very outdated impressions and very outdated opinions and all of that stuff. So, yeah, we're gonna get into this. So, first, what we got, like, in terms of like the stuff that we got, like, we already know, like, we had the announcement, we had all the branding that had been changed on, you know, Bloodhunt, Level Infinite, and Shark Mob, ever since the release of the game, the announcement of the game. However, Bloodhunt has reverted back to their usual, you know, icons and marketing and all of that, you know, confirming what most of us had figured out, that this was just a marketing strategy where everyone in the product like changes their icons and manners and all of that. But we had before that, we had a second teaser of the game, of, you know, of the announcement trailer with this big tower. We didn't know exactly what it was. We had our good friend Gustav that was also doing a little bit of excitement here about the game. And I just want to point out a little detail, just a little detail. Wait, I can't really show it here. Okay. Waiting for Exoborne beta streaming Khalior's and exosuit. I just want to point out to people here, just a little detail here, as you can see in the profile, the X profile of Gustav here. He says, lead designer at Shark Mob Games by day, video game fan by night, my opinions on my own, don't take me seriously. Currently Exoborne, previously Bloodhunt. Okay, so I'm just saying this, Gustav's the genius. I'm just saying this for the people. It's just to kind of like mark it in time, okay? He used to be lead designer on Bloodhunt. Now he's lead designer on Exoborne. Just in case people want to like mention it. Who is this Gustav? What does he do? He's lead designer, okay? It's the only reason why I'm mentioning this. So they were all of the people at Shark Mob that had Twitter accounts were getting like all excited and doing their own little tweets. And here's little cheeky Jaqub doing, good lord, it's been one hell of a busy week. I think some whiskey and chill is deserved. And not a lot of people like noticed what he was doing. Yeah, that's the logo underneath it that he's just like shaking his glass at, just like hinting at it. I thought it was clever. There were 2 Shark Mob employees that were there at the Game Awards, but they were not on stage. That was one thing that I was kind of wondering, were they going to be on stage? We had Martin and Brinley, the executive producer, that were there heading to the Game Awards. And of course, at the Game Awards, we had the big reveal that happened. Here is, if you want to see exactly the reveal at the Game Awards, it's not just the trailer, it is followed by like Jeff Keighley, like really going, like taking one breath and saying all the details about it. And Jeff Keighley finished it by saying there's more coming in 2024. Now, keep in mind the dates, okay? It's going to be very important when I'm going to be mentioning it a little bit later. Of course, there is, for the people who don't already have it, there is the Exoborne page on Steam, so you can already wishlist it if that's something that interests you. If you want, or even better, I should have actually linked that instead. Here is the link tree to Exoborne. If you want to have like all of the things where there's an Exoborne, like there's Steam, there's Discord, there's Twitter, there's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Instagram as well. So you can just, if you want to follow any of this, all of that is inside the link tree. That's the only link that you really need to have. Oh, there you go. It's right here. There you go. That's smart guy. So, what we got in terms of information for Exoborne, what do we know about it? First things first, It's a PvP extraction shooter with some PvP elements. Focus on PvP. It is on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. They haven't specified anything else, just those three, okay? Because we see those logos here. And they refer to you as Reborn. Like your character, it's kind of like, you know, like in Destiny, they keep calling you Guardian or something like that. In this game, they're calling you Reborn. Especially like there's Gustav that made a tweet and he says, "Welcome to Colton County, Reborn." Yeah, that's something that has never been like really confirmed anything else, that they call you Reborn, but that's going to be the call sign, I guess, that, you know, the lore or whatever they're going to call you. Kind of like in Bloodlines, in Bloodhunt, we are referred to as kindred, you know, members of the vampire world. You know, we're referred to as kindred. They are referring to you here as Reborn. Now, you're going to see this a lot with a lot of the articles that I'm going to pull out of here are just going to be like the interesting tidbits that I have picked up or I've never seen in any other place. But I'm going to start with some like this. Like this is a small little detail. But I want to point out like a few things like, okay, they refer to you as Reborn. Okay, but what exactly does Exoborne mean? Is it a reborn? Like, what exactly that, like, is there a distinction between reborn and Exoborne? Is there a link between those two kind of terms? I think that's going to be interesting to look into maybe, but that's me just like, you know, because of I'm seeing this right there. That's why I'm asking the question. Okay, let's start with major articles that I'm going to read through, and it's going to be like, these are the articles that tell you the most information about this. Okay, let's start first with what I haven't been seeing a lot of people mention, the official press release. There was a press release for this, so I'm gonna read through all of this. Reborns were Exogear, Exoborne. That's what we're thinking. Exoborne, Born Legacy. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. I hope that people are gonna use like, oh my God, it's Exoborne, something like that. Anyways, so Exoborne, the new tactical open world extraction shooter from Sharkmob, announced at TGA's. Publisher Publisher Level Infinite and developer Sharkmob revealed the studio's new upcoming original game, Exoborne, during the Game Awards. In development for PC and consoles, this tactical open-world extraction shooter puts you in the middle of a world ripped apart by apocalyptic forces of nature. Exoborne is not just a game to us, it's so much more than that, says Peter Manfelt, a creative director at Sharkmob. This is a long time in the making. We are excited to finally reveal it to the world and hear what people think about both the universe and the thrilling action-packed playground we have created. Since the founding of the studio, we have had the intention to create our own original game concepts, and now we're one step closer to releasing the first of two currently in development, says Fredrik Rundqvist, CEO of Sharkmob. I want to point out just a small little detail here, just to keep in mind, okay? Because some people want to discuss the timeline of exactly when this has happened. When Bloodhunt was launched, they were already working on their two other games. Just in terms of timeline, okay? Just keep that in mind. A broken world to explore and stories to unravel. Humanity is facing an unprecedented global collapse after the failure of its last hope, Project Rebirth, turning our world into a hostile place. You will explore a part of the southeastern US being torn apart by brutal forces of nature. Public events, ever-changing threats by the world itself, and risky missions let players write their own stories each time they enter the world of Exoborne, like having an epic gunfight in a tornado. Players take on the role of Reborn, extraordinary survivors fitted with an implant enabling them to use the powerful exo-rigs. Equipped with this epic technology, they thrive in a world plagued by warring factions, deadly elemental chaos, and other hostile Reborn. Utilizing their Exorig's abilities allows players to survive the fierce forces of nature and channel their might in combat and movement, making it the ultimate apocalyptic power fantasy. Big risks can wield big rewards, and that has never been more true than when players enter the heart of a storm to find the best possible tech. But will they be able to bring it back home? Crafting new items and gear with remnants of technology players find in the world will allow them to tackle unforeseen challenges. Meanwhile, the stakes will constantly be raised, and the fear of losing it all is constantly present. Exoborne offers different levels of difficulty, as well as the promise of challenging and gratifying end-game content. So, this is the description that you're gonna see like on pretty much every page, or like game description, like on Steam. Gear up, get in, and get out in Exoborne, a tactical open-world extraction shooter set in the apocalyptic US, transformed by extreme forces of nature. Public events, ever-changing threats by the world itself, and risky missions let players write their own stories each time they enter the world of the Exoborne, like having an epic gunfight in a tornado. Here's the interesting part. All of this, okay, by the way, all of this is the official press release. So, everything that is written there, you can count on it. There's no bias, there's no nothing. Here is our product. This is a sales pitch, and they're pitching everything there, okay? Features. Forces of nature fight through elemental chaos into the world that constantly changes the conditions. Exorigs unlock powerful abilities, not only enhancing vertical movement, but also the raw powers of nature to the player's advantage when chosen wisely. Verticality is key in a world twisted upside down, allowing for all new exploration and combat experiences. Crafting and customizing allows players to truly survive their own way, unlocking new gear and equipment as they progress through the world of Exoborne. Public events and missions raise the stakes and opportunities, allowing players to choose their own challenge. Extraction gameplay intensifies the thrill and reaches a peak at the end of the player's session. Risk it all or wait for a better opportunity, the choice is up to you. Thrilling evolving story builds the stage for future content updates and mysteries in the world to discover. And last point, premium game with regular live ops updates. And blah, 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 blah. I want to point out the new updated detail about Shark Mob in here. Here, they say, we have previously released Bloodhunt, a battle royale set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe. Currently, we are working on two major projects. Exoborne, a Shark Mob original game created in Malmö, is a tactical open-world shooter set in the United States surrounded by apocalyptic forces of nature. The second project, developed in London, is another Shark Mob original yet to be announced. So this is further confirming what I had always suspected, and it was pretty much like, I don't know, it's like 95% confirmed, but now seeing it written here is confirmed that it's Malmö focuses on Exoborne, London focuses on game number 3. There you go. So, and romance options. So, a lot of the things that they are going to be talked about and featured are those points here. This is the game. The game, if you want to see like what the game is about, these are the main vectors. These are the main, how do you say? Like, these are the rules of the game. What is the game focusing on is all of this. But I want to point out, only a few articles have mentioned this point right here. Premium game. What does premium game mean? Khalior, what is a premium game? Premium game means not free to play. This is a payable game, which makes sense if you consider the investments that have been put into Bloodhunt, the investment that has been put into Exoborne, how can I say, Bloodhunt probably did not turn out to be the most profitable game that they've ever put out. they probably need to recoup some of those expenses at some point, right? So premium game is absolutely not a surprise for me. We're going to see more about that. So this is the main press release for this game. Let's move on. Let's look at, I want to look at one article. There's another article that I want to read entirely. And then the other ones we're just going to skip to, like, here are the important things to remember from those articles, which have not been talked about in any other article ever before. So there was the PC Games N article here that says The Division meets Fallout in gritty new extraction shooter. So in a turbulent futuristic world, a new extraction FPS Exoborne blends Sharkmonk's experience on The Division with the wastes of Fallout. Survival, betrayal, survival, two words that resonate perfectly with Exoborne's woeful world. Following an apocalyptic disaster that has leveled Colton County, a small town in the American Southeast, you play one of the Exorig masters who are attempting to protect the population from the ever-increasing forces of nature. Oh, look at this. A little bit more world building in there. We're not just like playing, we're protecting people. Interesting. Be it tempests or tornadoes, you'll have to survive nature's fury or dive in head-on to score the best loot you can. Sharkmob's upcoming PC game has undertones of The Division, which makes sense when you consider several members of the Exoborne team worked on it. Interesting thing, if you want to know a little bit more about this, and you're going to see by the end of this article, if you've never played The Division, and you're excited about Exoborne, maybe playing The Division is going to be a good thing to do in the future. You squad up, shoot, and loot, all the good stuff that The Division has. However, the Fallout-esque sci-fi setting, coupled with the inclusion of the omnipresent tornadoes and storms, gives Exoborne's world a more dramatically end-of-the-world energy than The Division's plague-ridden New York City streets. Described as easy to get, but hard to master. Again, important key thing to remember. Creative director Peter Manifeld tells me that Exoborne isn't just about survival, it's about thriving in this broken world. It's about you getting stronger. And you are quite strong with this Exorig. You're not really weak as you are in some other survival games. Okay, this is telling us when you're loading in a match, you already got some power. You're already powerful. You're not extremely super weak. He tells me that there's a rich world building to Exoborne, mentioning the aforementioned betrayal by Rebirth, an entity that has installed mysterious cables around the globe, but, using Matterfeld's world, didn't really care about the people. So that sounds like an AI gone rogue to me. He promises that we'll find out more in the game's overarching narrative, and I can't wait to uncover those secrets, especially because the trailer shown at the TGAs looks amazing. Sorry, a little moment here. In terms of combat, you and your squad will be thrust into various mission-based levels, with Matterfeld confirming that they are multiple different biomes. And of course, various forces of nature to contend with. Alright, we're gonna see variation, not just what is shown, what we've been shown there. While you'll be able to build out your exo rig to suit your needs, he reassures me there is no Diablo-style min-maxing and number games here. If I talk about combat as a series of interesting choices, then depending on what choices you like to make, that's how you'll pick your build. There's no specific classes either, unlike games like Overwatch. I don't think the Holy Trinity ever holds up well in PvP games, he tells me, citing the Blizzard FPS game as one of the few exceptions. Instead, the team wants you to create a build that's perfect for you, no pigeonholing yourself into a specific role. But amidst all of this, there are flavorings of The Division in Exoborne when I ask him about it. Matterfeld agrees, given that he was the game director of the original Division. That is something that, again, I don't see a lot of articles mentioning. He was the game director of The Division. He tells PC Games N that you'll probably see some of The Division because all of the games that you work on continue to live with you, and I think that's natural. But there are a number of things that are very different in this game. Let's say it like this. In The Division, we wanted to destroy a city, But in this game, we destroy the world, and that's exactly what Exoborne does. And that's all they really had to say in this article, which I thought was very, very interesting. Brings out a lot of points, interesting points about, you know, the world and the game and how it works. That's great. There was a Polygon article. Yeah, it says Exoborne takes the Division's Dark Zone to a grand post-apocalyptic scale. Now, I'm just gonna skip through all of this. Oh, the sentence, "You are what you carry," is a sentence that I've seen like being mentioned a lot of times. What this article confirms that no other actually does is, you see in the trailer, there was the character that was using a grappling hook and was also using a glider. This article confirms that there will actually be things that you're going to be using. And here I have, in case you were questioning what I was saying about, like, you know, what does premium game mean? We have here the article that says Exoborne will be a premium paid game with live service and content updates. It's not free to play, reflecting a growing trend of game publishers moving away from that model for live service games. Exoborne will also face increased competition in the extraction shooter space in the years to come with Embark Studios' Arc Raiders, Bungie's Marathon, which, I mean, Bungie's Marathon is kind of like up in the air a little bit, but it's, you know, it's planned to be, and PUBG maker Krafton's Project Black Budget, promising similar thrills. Where Exoborne hopes to set itself apart is in its environments. Developers promise that you can throw your opponent into a tornado if your gunfight isn't going so well. So throwing people inside tornadoes, that's good. And also there's people that point out, like, and when we're talking about competition extraction shooters, people mention also Tarkov, saying that Tarkov will probably be like a game that never dies, kind of like Counter-Strike. But it depends. Tarkov, depending on exactly what year you're looking into Tarkov, Tarkov seems to be its own worst enemy right now. Well, I mean, depending of the moments, so we're going to see exactly how well that goes and how that comparison goes as well. So, yeah, that was for this article. I want to commend GameInformer for having probably the most creative title. Multiplayer tactical shooter Exoborne wants players to extract loot while fighting in tornadoes. Ain't that a freaking title? Ain't that a freaking title? If that doesn't like make you go, huh? What is this? What is this all about? There is the article from Nordiq IGN that mentions a few things, that there are no RPG mechanics. What does it say? Okay, there you go. There it says. There are also no RPG mechanics, and instead, Exoborne will prioritize loadouts and advanced suits known as exorigs. These exorigs will have their own abilities and playstyles, and the way to get more powerful is by using those exorigs and finding greater gear and building the perfect loadout for how you want to play. That is important also. Like, in terms of the gameplay, having all of this confirmed, that's really good. Another thing that they do here, and that haven't seen in any other article, some backstory. We had the chance to stop the apocalypse, but we were betrayed. Exoborne takes place on a near-future Earth where a catastrophic disaster was threatening all of our planet. While it hasn't been revealed what that disaster was yet, it was shared that humanity's last hope was something called Project Rebirth. This led to incredible technological advancements and megalithic Stratos towers, so these are the big towers that we keep seeing in the promotion material, that were meant to stop whatever was coming. Unfortunately, we were betrayed. Project Rebirth failed, and the apocalypse arrived as it feared it would. This manifested in the form of elemental chaos that ravaged the Earth with tornadoes, storms, and more. This is where we come in, as we take on the role of survivors known as Reborn, who are the last stand between a future for our species and total annihilation. Luckily, all Reborn have an implant that lets them use these exo rigs, which each have their own unique abilities and skills. So yeah, a little backstory. Apparently, lore is going to be added inside the game, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But apparently, it's been confirmed that the lore will be something kind of like to the side. It will not impact your gameplay. It will not have any effect on your gameplay. When you're gonna gameplay, it feels like the way that the articles are talking about it. It's very much like Bloodhunt. You get in, you load in, you go. So there's no like waiting for stories or whatever. There's going to be a way that lore will be explained and lore will be revealed over time, but it's just not going to be in the gameplay. So we've got, if you followed a little bit of the news about Exoborne, you know that there is a person called Westy that has made a video about gameplay details and impressions about the game. And although there are a few details that they don't seem to like, they make mistakes in their review once in a while, even mispronouncing Bloodhunt. Apparently they're saying like there's some things a little bit questionable in the article where they say like, oh, this is backed by a 400 people development team, which is maybe they looked at like the official like kind of like stat sheet for Shark Mob in general, because originally, like, it's been a while since we heard about the numbers of people that work at Shark Mob, and originally it was said like around 400 people that worked at Shark Mob in general, and then we know that the number has changed since. So when they say 400 people development team, I'm just gonna say like take that with a little bag of salt. I'd like it, someone from there to actually confirm that data. But of the things that they confirm in this review, yeah, they confirm also no hidden RPG elements, no hidden stats. What you carry is your loadout. What you have with you is your loadout and what you carry. So apparently there is going to be a part before you go inside a match. In the menus, you are going to be able to determine your loadout before you load in the game, and that's going to determine your playstyle during the match. Crafting and upgrading. These are points that have been like mentioned left and right, schematics and crafting and all of this. The crafting itself and the upgrading is going to happen in the game menus. It's not going to happen during the matches. So that implies that there's going to be like some crafting and upgrading and some, I guess, account leveling, the general term of like account leveling, that is going to be happening. Oh, hello, Cup of Blood. That is going to be happening off of, the main game. That's going to be in the menus. Also, they say that during the matches, there's going to be public events and stuff like that you can do, like either it's solo or as a team. But there will be also missions that you'll have to select before you join inside the match. Before you join inside the matches, so there's a whole, like, the more detail I'm getting about this, the more it feels like there is a whole prep phase that you need to do before you actually join the matches, and the matches will be just like, okay, matches are matches. You're not there to spend time in. Oh, that sound decided to go off. I still hear it in my ears. Wow. So thank you for the raid. So yeah, there's a few things like that are being mentioned, like, apparently when you run around, you're going to be in third perspective, and when you're going to be using guns, it's going to be in first person perspective, which I don't know exactly how people will feel about that. Some people really talk about, some people base their game experience on exactly like, is this third person, is this first person, and some people are really divisive on exactly what kind of perspective they want to play games at. So we're gonna see how people react to that, or that switching, like, or is that switching going to cause some problems in the middle? Like, is it going to break the gameplay? Something that I'm a little bit worried about, but we're gonna see how that works. Another detail is that apparently the objective with the time to kill, the TTK, is that time to kill is supposed to be very fairly short. There's not gonna be like extensive gunplay sessions. It's gonna be very short, very action-packed. Go, 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 go. And yes, mentioning again that the main focus is, although there are PvE elements, although there's story on the side that you'll get and discover, the main thing is PvP, 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 PvP. They say the threat is other players. When you get inside a match, you should be focusing on the fact that the threat is other players, and just that, like, probably second confirmed, the second related to that is going to be the environment itself. Another thing that he confirms, like, he does confirm it on the video, but always like on the side also, is like in his tweet, he says there are going to be solo, duo, and trio team sizes. So definitely, when we say some of the experience of Shark Mob relating to those kinds of queues and team sizes, they have experience. Like, you know, the whole mantra of like, I hope you guys are learning from your experience with Bloodhunt. That is definitely one thing that they're going to be carrying forward with them, and we're going to see if they're going to be making some progression. Another thing that is that Westy has said on Twitter, and I think is very, very important, at least to me, because, you know, when they present a new game, it's always the question, especially a cinematic with no actual gameplay footage. You always kind of have, like, you know, because we've seen many, like, you know, Gamescom and Game Awards and Summerfest and all of this. Like, we've seen all of that before, and we are increasingly worried about like good cinematics. I know they understand that cinematics are there to set the mood, set the vibe. Like, what is the vibe of this game supposed to be, or at least that's what it's supposed to be, right? And then sometimes, you know, we see the gameplay, and then we see the gameplay, like, it doesn't really match. Like it turns out that the cinematic was just basically, it's not even the vibe, it was more an aesthetic than it is like the actual vibe and representing the gameplay. So yeah, confirmed solo, duo, trio team sizes. But here is why I was talking about that. I had Westy. Oh yeah, there we go. I already listed. Westy saw a pre-alpha gameplay. He says it here. I got to see about 60 seconds of pre-alpha gameplay on a call. Still early stuff, plenty of placeholder, but the gameplay visuals match the artwork they've revealed. So, happy about this. Happy about this little detail. There's another content creator that's got exclusive details. Said something about that. Had some things to say about this, called Rogue Gold. He did like a bit of a trailer breakdown just to see, like, talk about the elements that we see here, but he's also had to talk with the developers, so he got a few extra little tidbits. And by the way, as kind of like, you know, little information about this guy, he is a Division game content creator, also the Division 2. He is very, very passionate, and it seems about the Division. So and he seems to have like a following on YouTube and all of this, like specifically focused on the Division. So really, he is one of the, like, you know, key target audience that already knows a lot about this. This is specifically a game. Actually, I should just follow him just to see like his impressions, because he seems to be like more knowledgeable than pretty much everyone else that I've seen like do reviews or talk about like impressions about this. So he, in his video, he repeats a lot what Westy has said in his own video. He does a trailer breakdown, but he adds a few things. He confirms, like I said, the lore is not going to be in the way of the gameplay, not at all. And he also confirms that there will be, like we said, there are multiple biomes and there will be multiple maps. So it's not going to be just old Prague for 2 years and we never get to see the second map. There will be multiple maps for this game. There's not much or else like that this guy like doesn't like, it's not things that haven't already been confirmed. But I did notice that, you know, from people's impressions of the Game Awards, despite, you know, the whole, you know, everyone, if you've been online, you know about the whole discussion about the Game Awards. But, you know, at the end of the Game Awards or whenever there's Summerfest or like that, people like, you know, make lists or put lists of like, you know, here are the things that interest me or here are the things that are completely boring or, you know, I'm going to put that on like, you know, they say like, oh, wish list, like here are the titles that are interesting me. And Exoborne was definitely on a lot of people's lists, you know, feeling like they're just like, they're either interested or they just go like, you know, this feels promising, of course. And like I said this week, when I was talking about Exoborne, and what I said actually like in the news last weekend for the thing about the news, Bloodhunt people, you know that your voice is being heard, okay? And so far, I see, like, in terms of, like, first reactions, I see that a lot of people that were sour about the Bloodhunt experience are still very sour. Like, they're absolutely, like, not looking at Exoborne in a positive manner. They're just looking at Shark Mob, the company that abandoned Bloodhunt and all of this. There's people that are still just discovering. They're going like, oh wait, you're not supporting Bloodhunt anymore. It's just like, well, you know, they haven't been really supporting Bloodhunt for about a little bit over a year, and like this current year they said they were gonna stop development, but the big decision to stop development overall, or at least, you know, to like wind down development of Bloodhunt, was made at the end of like the first year of its launch, like, or, you know, around the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. That's when the decision was made. So people are going like, you know, with the reaction of just like, oh, you're just giving up. Well, they actually gave up in, you know, they gave up in 2022 already. At the end of summer 2022, they already like pretty much said that was, at least, you know, if you read between the lines, or at least that's been my story about like what's been happening with Bloodhunt behind the scenes. Everything seemed to have like the decision to start shuttering down Bloodhunt and all of that was made at the end of last summer. So, you know, people are, I'm sad for the people who are just discovering that. It's been a long decision in the making in terms of, you know, for Bloodhunt. And yes, game development does not, you know, it does not stop on a dime. People don't like, I don't know, like those weird theories about, you know, coming from gamers about like, you know, oh, something went wrong last week and this week you're putting out like a cinematic to make you look good. Is that how it goes? Like, no, it's, you know, the top-notch cinematics take over like a year to prepare, you know, a 60-minute cinematic by, I don't know, by World of Warcraft, like a 2 or 3 minute cinematic is just like, yes, this took us like a year and a half, but no, really, guys, because we put out this bad news last week, we suddenly come out with like a cinematic that we whipped out within a week. That doesn't make sense, guys. So, yeah, still looking at people's reactions. Of course, like this is just like an announcement until we actually have gameplay and stuff like that. It's, you know, we don't know exactly what's going to be. There's one thing that I forgot to mention about the Polygon article that I said earlier. All of the articles have been saying, we don't know when there's going to be a release. We're going to see. We had at the Game Awards, we had Jeff Keighley that said, more to come in 2024 about Exoborne. The Polygon article is the only one that said will be released in 2024. I don't know if that's a mistake. I don't know if there's going to be a correction to that article, but it does say it's going to be released at some point in 2024, which, you know, surprises me, because otherwise pretty much everyone would say it's coming out in 2024, and people wouldn't say like, you know, we don't have a date or any of that. I'm expecting personally that we're probably going to see like some tests that are going to be happening in 2024. If you've been following Shark Mob news, you know, or, you know, Bloodhunt, the Bloodhunt Twitter or the social media, you know that they have been posting over the last month, you know, requesting for people to come do testing, you know, where they're looking for testers. So looking for testers, probably getting them into that, testing their stuff, like getting them inside the company and testing and testing and testing. I get that probably the testing is going to go like over the year. And probably if you had to ask me like when it's probably going to be release date, I would think it's probably 2025. It depends how advanced they are in the whole process, but we don't know. There's no way of necessarily knowing. Hold on. Okay, so let me continue what I was about to say. So there is also another little bit of information that was posted. It's from Jaqub, who is, you know, talking about, like, you know, we've got community, we've got the Exoborne community, and that's it. And if you remember, Jaqub was originally the player relations manager for Bloodhunt originally, and then at some point last year, the baton was like moved over. Oh, look at this guy. Look, hello. Look at, oh no, look at this guy. Look at this. They're just goofing around at Shark Mob, aren't they? Right? Oh wait, actually, it was Gustav. Me casually goofing off in the background, not knowing y'all were recording for this. They decided to keep it in. But yeah, it's basically saying, hey guys, we have a community, so we have a community. Which is, I don't know, getting excited for a community. So yeah, we're gonna see exactly what Jaqub has in store for us this time, or if it's going to be basically player relations 2.0. Is it going to be 2.0? Is it going to be a continuation of what they did with Bloodhunt? We don't know, but definitely I will be there to see and compare whatever they have in store for that. So yeah, there's another thing that I want to mention. Like, I've mentioned it a little bit earlier before, but for like conspiracy theorists about Exoborne or whatever, or Shark Mob or Bloodhunt or whatever, you have to keep in mind, because I've seen a few people like talk about this and going like, you know, like I just said, like, you know, the time of reaction of like, oh, you just put that out there as a reaction to whatever. You have to keep in mind, like I said earlier, that this game was being worked on before Bloodhunt was officially launched. So if you're thinking that it's, you know, this is a reaction to whatever, like, sure, there are a few things that they will be taking in stride as a growing company. There are some, you know, like the whole mantra that people have been saying, like, we hope you've learned your lessons from Bloodhunt, that gamers have been saying and thrown around at Shark Mob, like, since Bloodhunt's launch. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna learn some lessons, but the whole game itself and the conception and the timeline of when it's going to be released and all that, like, it has, like, whatever has happened with Bloodhunt, like, probably has absolutely no impact on how this game was being developed on its own, on its end. So, like, because, yeah, at launch, we knew that they were working on 2 other titles. So, you know, there's no weird conspiracy theory there. Like, so far, in terms of, like, you know, time to develop a video game, so far, it seems to be like following the template that normally it works. Like say if we say like a video game is being developed in like a 4 to 5 year cycle or something like that. Like, if we consider that Exoborne was already being like worked on when Bloodhunt was launched, like, so far, like, it tracks with normal regular video games, and especially with, you know, a company that considers themselves to be a AAA game company. We're gonna see. So What else? What else? Yeah, so what to expect now? What can we expect now? A couple blood, I'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk about all of that in a second. Yeah, apart from that, what do we have now? What do we expect? Well, first, like I said earlier, but I want to repeat it this way, like, hey, Khalior, are you going to focus on Exoborne? No. Like I said, it's kind of like, it's the elephant in another room in the same building that we're in. We are probably going to have some people that are going to be looking at Exoborne and just like patiently waiting or whatever. And they might look at Bloodhunt. Like, we've got like a lot of reactions this week of people like more than usual going like, wait a second, Bloodhunt is still up? As we've been having like normally like every month or so, we have some people that say that. I had an unusual amount of people that going like, wait a second, it's still up, and some more people discovering the game and all of that. So I know that for myself, I've started all of this because of Bloodhunt, because I like Bloodhunt, because I said I want this game to continue to exist, and I will be sad the moment that this game doesn't exist anymore. So I will be continuing the things that I've always been continuing to do, which is, cover Bloodhunt and make events for Bloodhunt and, do the usual things that I do about Bloodhunt. I will be curious. I will keep an eye on Exoborne to see, because it's kind of like, well, it would be a detriment for me to not keep an eye on it, and I think it'll be like a little bit dumb for me not to just keep an eye on it and to keep like the news on it. It's the same way that I have to keep an eye on the VTM Justice VR game or Bloodlines 2. I have to keep an eye on those because they're kind of related in some way to what my focus is on here. So yeah, I'm not going to turn this into like the Exoborne news unless, I don't know, the plug gets pulled on Bloodhunt before Exoborne gets out. I don't know exactly what's going to be, but I'm telling you, I'm still in it for the long run with Bloodhunt. I would like to have Bloodborne on PC though. I really would like that to happen. But no, for Bloodhunt, I'm still in it for the long run. Nothing changes for me. I'm still doing my own thing. And on top of that, I'm thinking, like I said, if we've got some people that have an eye on Bloodhunt or want to see what it is, because we're talking about Exoborne having like verticality and a lot of like high speed movement, we can say we've got this in Bloodhunt, and we need to still have a community that's there, or at least people that are organizing events and doing the news and all of that stuff. So I'm still going to be there for that. I'm still going to make sure that for these people who are going to be maybe looking into Exoborne are going to be looking into Bloodhunt, if they're coming here, they're going to say like, hey, yeah, I'm still going to be here giving you info if you need help, if you need codes, if you need whatever, nothing changes for me in that respect. I'm still going to be here. So for the events of this week, so we've got Fashion Victims in a few hours. The cutoff date to submit your fits is going to expire, and then on Monday or Tuesday there's going to be a vote that's going to be put out. We've got the results of the community vote that should be coming out very, very, very soon, and then we've got PlayStation 5 Trios competitive tournament that's going to be happening on Saturday. Signups end on Wednesday evening. And yeah, that's what we got right now for the moment. There might be some things coming in during the holidays, but I have nothing to confirm yet. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Yeah. In terms of Bloodhunt news, that's it for us here. I'm still going to be streaming, so don't go away if you're people on streams. I have a bunch of questions that I still have to answer that have been posted on stream, so I'm going to still be there for that. And yes, that's it for this week. So be kind to each other and to yourself. And thank you for watching. I will see you next week, next Sunday, for another recap of the Bloodhunt news of the week. And then after that, it's going to be holidays. And then I'm going to be returning at some point in January with the Bloodhunt news. So, catch you later.